Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Child seriously hurt. A car hit a total of 4 people, including that child in Apex. What we know about the injuries and what the police are saying about the driver.
And it's a beautiful start. Maybe you're headed to the lake today. The weather looks great. We do have a small chance for thunderstorms. I'll show you who's most likely to see those and when.
And fireworks across the triangle. A look at events happening, including in Durham, after the Bulls play some good old American baseball. How you could be bored today, I don't know. We're going to tell you a little bit about what you can do as you are waking up. Joining us here on WRAL News and Fox 50, I'm Chris Lovingood. You may be getting out and maybe enjoying some fireworks shows today, but you may wonder, what is the weather going to look like? Well, we have the perfect person to tell you about it, Elizabeth.
Certainly looks beautiful this morning. I've been having so much fun just pulling up all the lakes, the beaches, the mountains, the golf courses, because I have a feeling that's where a lot of people are hoping to go. It's a comfortable start this morning. I've also been watching our dew point drop. The dew point's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere, so every degree that drops, the more comfortable it feels and the less hot it feels. And I know that I just said that, but here's what happens with the dew point. When the dew point is really high, when there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, it feels a lot hotter than it really is. We won't have to deal with that today. 78 is our current temperature. We're looking at low to mid 70s for the most part. A couple of spots warming up a little bit higher than that. 78 Clinton, 77 in Fayetteville. Hour by hour rain chances minimal. It's a 20% chance mid-afternoon up until around, say, 7 or 8 o'clock. Once the sun sets, that should be the end of storm. So that should mean that we're fine in terms of fireworks this evening. 93 will be the high. It shouldn't feel really any hotter than that because our dew point is dropping nicely. I am still tracking a low that could affect us and the beaches on Sunday. We'll take a look coming up.
I will see you in just a bit, Elizabeth. Thank you. A child is in the hospital because authorities say a car hit them and 3 others. This happened as they left the July 4th celebration on Old Raleigh Road in Apex. And police say this happened just before 9 p.m. on Old Raleigh Road. And these 3 adults, they were also hit as a driver was pulling out of a grocery store parking lot. The child was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but police do not believe that driver was intoxicated. They don't suspect foul play at this time. Fireworks will light up the sky all across the triangle tonight, and WRAL is following all the ways that you can witness the fun. And that includes Ali Kadlabar joining us live from the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Ali, they're going to have baseball, they're going to have fireworks, and the all-American pastime favorites.
Yes, and we are enjoying well, not yet. We are a little bit early. We're about 11 hours out until the first pitch. But in the next several hours, we're going to see the stands fill with a bunch of fans. There's only standing room available for tonight's big show. This is the biggest fireworks show of the year at the DBAP. Now check out this video from last year. Red, white, and blue sparkling in the sky. This is what people will see tonight after the Bulls take on the Tides. First pitch is set for 6:35. Then the fireworks pop off at 9:15. If you can't get a spot inside, Durham Parks and Rec says, don't worry. People can watch from the grassy area behind Diamond View 3 and several spots downtown, or you can watch right here in this space by Mezcalito. This is a nice spot right here. But you can also go in for general admission after the 7th inning as well, but you're going to want to make sure you secure your spot with some of those standing room tickets only. There are some games throughout the weekend. You can wrap up your patriotic holiday weekend with a game on the 5th, so tomorrow, and then Sunday night. Both are going to be followed by fireworks. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And the city of Raleigh is hosting its July 4th fireworks show at a new place this year. It'll happen at the Lenovo Center and the Carter Finley Stadium area. We know that gates are expected to open at 6 p.m. and the fireworks show starts at 9:30 p.m. The event was previously held at Dix Park, but you may remember last year there was that initial delay over weather. And then the fireworks vendor had a malfunction, and then the show ended early. Today, President Donald Trump plans to sign his federal spending proposal. House Republicans advanced that bill in a close vote. Among many things, the bill includes massive federal spending and tax cuts. Only 2 Republicans voted against it. Moderate members of Congress have criticized that bill, and they're taking issue with a little more than $1 trillion in Medicaid cuts. Democrats claim the bill is just a tax cut for billionaires. President Trump addressed a crowd in Des Moines, Iowa, hours after that bill passed.
It's the largest tax cut in American history. The largest spending cut in American history. The largest border security investment in American history.
This is the largest tax cut in the billions for billionaires. This is the largest transfer of wealth, the largest robbery of wealth from working families to billionaires.
The bill signing ceremony will be at the White House at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Food banks in our area are voicing concerns about cuts to the federal food assistance in that bill, and they say an ongoing hunger crisis will worsen. 13% of North Carolina's population uses the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also called SNAP. The new spending plan expands work requirements, and that means hundreds of thousands of North Carolinians could be dropped from the program. This could end up putting a greater strain on food banks, and that means less food to go around. Less funding would also mean that food banks won't be able to buy as much food to give away, and that could affect local businesses.
For every meal that we can provide here at the food bank, SNAP could provide 9 nutritious meals.
There's going to be less food to go around, and it's going to cost more money.
SNAP benefits have been 100% federally funded since the program's creation 50 years ago. Roughly 200 Marines from our area are going to Florida to help with immigration enforcement. The Pentagon says the troops from Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville will be mobilized to work with ICE. The Department of Defense says the Marines will have no contact with migrants or anyone in custody. In fact, the Marines are supposed to play a logistical and administrative support role. The troops are part of a group of nearly 700 Marines being sent to Florida, Louisiana, and Texas. A North Carolina law meant to reduce long lines at the DMV appears to have unintended consequences. The law says driver's licenses will remain valid for 2 years after their expiration date. The rule only applies to driving, and so that means the license wouldn't be valid for other uses, which means you cannot use an expired license to buy alcohol or cigarettes, get a bank loan, or even board a flight. Plus, trying to fly out of state would likely become a problem.
Obviously, because, for people who have family outside the state or people that live at the border that go across state lines, to go to work, that causes an issue because if they get pulled over in that new state line, now it's, oh, your license expired.
The people we spoke to say lines and wait times will only be reduced after more employees are hired. A house fire left 2 people in Roseville without a home. A viewer sent this video you're seeing to WRAL. Do you see this? The intensity of these flames? Well, these flames were near the garage. And we also had Sky 5 above this situation on Redford Place Drive yesterday where it happened. A fire alarm is what alerted the 2 people inside to escape. But that home, it's a total loss. It's unclear exactly what caused that fire. A Raleigh woman was arrested in a hit and run that sent a 10-month-old and her mother to the hospital. Authorities say Jeronica Rogers was involved in that crash back in May. According to search warrants, she admitted she was playing a casino app on her phone while driving through the Raleigh Walmart parking lot. Security footage appears to show Rogers speeding and hitting the mother holding her child as they crossed the road, and the car was seen driving away. Police say the man shot and killed at a Durham apartment complex was 24-year-old Amani King. They identified him after responding to Churchill Apartments on Cornwallis Road Wednesday night. Police have not made an arrest or shared a suspect description. And a driver is facing charges after a crash in Cary left hundreds of people without power. You're seeing video from that scene on West Chatham Street. Christopher Frederick is facing several charges, including driving while impaired and reckless driving. And Cary police say he hit an electrical box near an apartment complex. Officers also say he dropped his phone while he was driving and then lost control of his vehicle. A Raleigh woman is facing charges because her 2 young children died last year in an apartment fire. Police arrested Rodrika Porter yesterday, and the charges stem from an apartment fire in northeast Raleigh last September. Police say Porter's 1-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son were left inside, and both died at the hospital. Porter is charged with 2 counts of felony child neglect. Authorities say a woman was severely injured because of a fireworks-related fire, and that burned multiple homes in California. See for yourself. More than 100 firefighters spent nearly an hour putting out the fire in L.A. The fire department said the fireworks in a detached garage, they were a part of this. In addition to the woman injured, several animals were also hurt. FAA investigators confirmed a piece of an airplane found in a Raleigh driveway is from a Delta Airlines jet. Here's a portion of a 911 call made when that wing flap was discovered.
There is a portion of an airplane wing blocking the driveway. My neighbor heard a loud noise last night after midnight, but it appears to be a portion of an airplane wing.
The call was made around 8:30 Wednesday morning from Banbury Road. The Boeing 737 left Atlanta and then landed safely at RDU. NICU babies at UNC Health are getting in on the July 4th fun. The babies from UNC Rex Hospital in Raleigh and UNC Children's Hospital in Chapel Hill were all dressed up for the holiday, and they look oh so cute. Now, for many areas across the Triangle, Independence Day celebrations have been a week-long affair. Last night, 5 different towns in our viewing area hosted celebrations. Wake Forest, for example, hosted its big fireworks show at Heritage High School, and the crowd was not disappointed. The town has hosted its celebrations a day early for more than 50 years, and people we spoke with say they like it that way because it frees them up for more celebrations on the big day.
If we wanted to travel still as a family, we could for the holidays, but also I like that they also have other things on the 4th, like we do the kids parade thing. So we enjoy the entire lineup for not just the 4th, but also the 3rd.
Garner, Apex, Smithfield, and Morrisville also had fireworks show last night. Now, if you missed the celebration last night, you can be sure to head to WRAL.com for a full list of events happening today. Your time is 8:10. Helping injured turtles. We'll explain how a new bill would help local doctors get these turtles back into the wild and how NC State is playing a role. Plus, the battle over DEI. Governor Josh Stein vetoed a round of bills targeting DEI, and you'll hear why he says there are more pressing issues for our state.
And fireworks forecast for this evening looking good. There's only a very small chance for thunderstorms. I'm going to walk you through that on Futurecast. Temperature at 9 o'clock when the fireworks go off, 82. Not feeling bad. We'll take a look at how much hotter it will get for us next week coming up. 8:14. This is gorgeous, isn't it? Taking a live look at Carolina Beach. You can see plenty of people taking walks and in the water, and it's early too. Wow, 8:14. They're going to get a big long day out there, and it looks great too. You know, typically every summer along the beach in the afternoon, you're going to have a few scattered thunderstorms. Most of those end up being just inland from the beaches along the sea breeze front and then moving inland. So should be just fine for this afternoon as well as tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s. Now Sunday's going to be a different story, especially for our southern beaches. We may have a better chance for rain and some heavy surf there as a coastal low moves up the coast. I'm going to show you that coastal low and where it's likely to go over the weekend, how it could affect us too coming up. For today, rip current danger is moderate, but it is likely to go up over the weekend as that low pressure system gets closer to us. Pretty view of Boone this morning, nice and sunny and pleasant there. The high in Boone today, 80 degrees. It's always a nice place to escape. That's still too warm, 72 for tomorrow at Grandfather Mountain. In the mountains, elsewhere on Sunday, both Saturday and Sunday, both look pretty dry, ranging from 70s to 90s in the mountains. Of course, we'll see some warm temperatures, but I'll explain why we don't have to deal with the heat index today coming up.
A new proposal from state lawmakers would help fund a program at NC State to care for injured wild turtles. The help would come in the form of a specialty license plate that would bring in roughly $10 per plate for the university's veterinary school. The turtle rescue team was founded back in 1996 by Professor Greg Lubart. He says they care for more than 1,000 turtles a year, and most of them were injured because a car hit them. Supplies and treatment cost around $40 a turtle on average.
Even 1,000 license plates would get us $10,000 a year. That would be a big part of our operating budget. Turtles represent not just the reptiles of the state, but the wildlife of the state, and that are impacted by humans, and that any little bit we can do to kind of give back to them is important.
Lubart says he has been pushing for this new program since 2012. Governor Josh Stein has vetoed 4 bills on diversity, equity, and inclusion and gender issues. He accuses Republican lawmakers of caring more about culture war battles than getting a state budget deal done. The new budget year began this week, but lawmakers are on vacation and nowhere close to a deal. Republican House Majority Leader Brendan Jones criticized Stein for vetoing the DEI bills. And for more details on this story, go ahead and go to WRAL.com. A suspected political assassin says he is looking forward to, quote, the truth being revealed about a shooting. Yesterday, Vance Belter made that comment to a judge and waived his right to a probable cause and preliminary hearing. He also said, quote, by waiving these 2 things, that gets us to that faster in terms of the truth. He's accused of killing Minnesota State Senator Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, a Raleigh native. He's also accused of wounding Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. The charges Belter faces could lead to the death penalty. ICE agents arrested Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in L.A., and he's facing deportation now. The Department of Homeland Security says the arrest stems from an active warrant in Mexico, and there are also allegations of links to a drug cartel. Chavez's attorney has called the allegations outrageous.
And Jeff, welcome to the WRAL Live Center. An update to a story we've been following this week. What is happening in Gaza? Dozens more people have been killed while waiting for humanitarian aid. At certain sites there, Israeli airstrikes have hit, killed 15 Palestinians earlier today in a tent encampment. Some of the people that have been displaced by the war that's been going on for nearly 2 years now. But others, as we have been following this story, UN Human Rights Office says it's recorded a total of 613 killings now within a span of just a month in the Gaza area near humanitarian convoys as Palestinians try to get to those distribution points. And these are still pictures right now from the tent encampment where people were killed this morning. President Trump has said he expects Hamas to respond to his final proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza in the next 24 hours.
Hamas signaled that they wouldn't actually go for that unless it was a complete and total end to the war. Thanks, Jeff. Work is underway in D.C. for the big July 4th fireworks show, and people will gather at the National Mall for the 17-minute display. Organizers say that it is one of the biggest fireworks show in the country.
What makes this display unique among any other displays is the scale. It is one of the largest productions in the country for July 4th, which I think is appropriate given the location. We're always trying to introduce new effects. So we have a history of making fireworks. My father and uncle have passed on that tradition through the generations. I'm fourth generation. So each year we challenge ourselves to build and create new effects to keep it exciting for the audience.
A live stream will be available to watch through the National Mall's Monument camera online. North Carolina A&T is adding a new aerospace and aeronautics program this fall. Students will learn how to design, how to test and operate aircraft and spacecraft. The program was created because of the high demand for qualified workers. Big companies such as HAECO, Honda, and Boom Supersonic are looking to hire in the triad. JetZero recently announced that it will build a facility at the Greensboro Airport. Fireworks shows are planned all across the Triangle and the surrounding area, and we have a full weekend of 4th of July festivities and our WRAL Out and About's Best Bets. The town of Cary will have its Independence Day celebration tonight. There'll be music from the North Carolina Symphony, and there will also be fun activities for the kids before the fireworks display. And tonight's event is at the Kokobuth Amphitheater. General admission is free. And Durham Central Park will host a children's parade that is this morning starting at 9:30. You can help the kids decorate bikes, trikes, wagons, and strollers. And then the parade through the park starts at 10:30. After the parade, there will be free popsicles and fire truck tours. Plus this weekend, if you're ready to slice into some summer fun, Spring Haven Farm's Watermelon Festival, it is back. That farm in Chapel Hill will host watermelon-filled festivities today through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Your entry fee includes all the watermelon you can eat. And for more information about these events and others, go to WRAL.com. Oh, so much fun that's slated for us. And we're, of course, talking about what your day is going to look like. But we're also tracking the tropics right now, a little activity that you're monitoring out there, Elizabeth.
We've been watching this for the last couple of days, and the National Hurricane Center keeps bumping up the chance that this becomes a tropical system. But it's also not going to matter that much in terms of does it become tropical, does it not? We're still going to see a low that moves up the coast that brings us an increasing chance for rain on Sunday and possibly into Monday. And, of course, we'll have some impacts on the coast as well. Here's a look at that system developing right now. This is a look at our tropical satellite. We show this a little bit differently because you can see the colored cloud tops right there are showing where it's most intense. You can definitely see that storm developing off the coast, Jacksonville, Florida, Georgia. And they're going to send a Hurricane Hunter aircraft into that to take a peek and see, does it look like it's getting a closed circulation? Does it look like it's going to be a tropical system or not? 60% chance that it develops today or sometime in the next 7 days, but it's probably going to be, sooner than later. It moves on up past our coast on Sunday. So here's what we're expecting. This is tomorrow morning. You can see the circulation here, but notice where all the rain is. It's all to the east or to the north of the system, which is pretty typical. So how much rain are we really going to see out of this. It's all going to depend on how strong it is and how far inland the center tracks. So right near Charleston, Sunday morning, lots of rain out ahead of it, and then that will continue to push northward. And this is going to be Sunday at lunchtime. So we'll definitely have the potential for rain, definitely rip current danger, possibly some heavy surf from, say, Cape Lookout to Wilmington is where we'll have some of the heavier rain, but we could see it spreading farther north during the day on Sunday. And then if the low ends up tracking inland, which is what it shows here on this version of Futurecast, then we're looking at an even better chance for rain in our area and possibly our coastline on Monday. So for Sunday, right now, 50 to 60% chance in our viewing area and a 70 to 80% chance central and southern coast. A lot of that rain will stay offshore, but we could see potentially a couple of inches along our central and southern beaches. And then for our area, it's probably going to be half an inch, maybe up to an inch Sunday and Monday combined. Fireworks forecast for tonight, though, is looking great. A small chance of a shower or thunderstorm, temperature 82 degrees. Our weekend outlook not looking bad for today and tomorrow. Coming up, we're going to talk more about a much wetter week next week.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Your time is 8:23. Diddy's co-defendant, Sean Diddy Combs' former chief of staff, is facing civil lawsuits along with her boss. Her connection to Raleigh and what she's accused of doing. Plus, big bill signing, I should say. President Donald Trump is spending the July 4th signing the big.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning to you. Your time is 8:26. I am Chris Levingood. We'll get you your 4th of July forecast with Elizabeth Gardner.
It looks great. Temperatures this morning feeling comfortable. 77 Wilson, 78 in Durham, 77 in Fayetteville. We have a mix of sun and clouds. And this afternoon, we have a small chance for some showers or thunderstorms, mostly in our southern counties. And even there, only a 20% chance. As we get closer to, say, 9 o'clock, once the sun sets, most of those should be gone. I don't think there's going to be any problem for fireworks this evening. It is going to be a hot day with a high of 93, but it shouldn't feel any hotter than that. No real heat index to have to deal with today.
A child is in the hospital after 4 people total were hit by a car while leaving a 4th of July celebration in Apex. Police say this happened just before 9 p.m. on Old Raleigh Road, and 3 adults were also hit as a driver was pulling out of a grocery store parking lot. The child was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and police do not believe that driver was intoxicated. They don't suspect foul play right now. Roughly 200 Marines from our area are going to Florida. They're going to help with immigration enforcement. The Pentagon says the troops from Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville will be mobilized to work with ICE. The Department of Defense says the Marines will have no contact with migrants or anyone in the custody chain. They say they will only be providing logistical and administrative support. And today you can celebrate the 4th of July with fireworks and baseball with the Durham Bulls. Nothing says 4th of July like America's favorite pastime. The Bulls game gets started at 6:35 this afternoon, and this evening, I should say. Fireworks will get going after that. Standing room is still available for tickets there, and non-ticket holders can get in at the bottom of the 7th to watch the light show. Next on Fox 50, Triangle sellers notice their homes are stuck on the market for longer. And coming up on today, 4th of July barbecue recipes.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our viewing area. We do have a small chance for thunderstorms later on today. I'll show you why it's not likely to affect the fireworks.
Car hits child. This morning, a look at the facts as police don't suspect foul play despite 4 people being hit in Apex. And celebrating Independence Day, there are plenty of big events happening in and around the Triangle. We're going to take you out to the DPAP ahead of one of the most anticipated fireworks shows of the night. That's if I can stay up long enough to watch it. I'm a little tired waking up at 1 o'clock this morning, but hey, we're going to get through today because it's the 4th of July. Thanks for joining us here on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Levingood. Elizabeth Gardner is getting a look at your weather forecast to start the day.
Yeah, sunshine behind you, sunshine behind me, looking beautiful. This is a look at our tower back over toward Garner and lots of sunshine. This is just lovely to see. I feel like about once every hour, we see this number dropping with our dew point. It's down to 66 now, and that's unusual for this time of year. If you remember last week when we were, looking at 105, 110, 113. That was because the dew point was way up in the mid-70s. At mid-60s, we don't have any additional heat to deal with. It will feel like the actual temperature. And 78 feels pretty good. Right now, temperatures are mainly in the mid to upper 70s, and we do have the chance of an isolated thunderstorm later on this afternoon, but say between 2 and 3 up until around 7 or 8. After that, once we get the sun to set, there won't be much energy left in the atmosphere for storms. So I do feel like once we get to 9 o'clock into the fireworks, we shouldn't have to deal with any rain. And again, it's only a 20% chance. 93 for the high this afternoon. Again, shouldn't feel any hotter than that with a nice low dew point. 82 at 9 o'clock if you're headed out for the fireworks or celebrations ahead of it. Festivities at 7 o'clock around 85 degrees. Still, a low could develop along the coast and bring some rain for Sunday here and along the coast. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Police say a child is seriously injured because a car hit them and 3 other people. This happened as they were leaving a 4th of July celebration in Apex, and it happened just before 9 p.m. on Old Raleigh Road. Now, according to police, the child and 3 adults were hit as a driver was pulling from a grocery store parking lot. The child was taken to the hospital, but police don't believe that the driver was intoxicated. They don't suspect foul play at this time either. Let's get you a live look at the DBAP, where tonight they are going to have one of the area's most anticipated fireworks show. The game gets started, we're just hours away really from it happening, and preparations are already underway for that post-game show. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar is at the DBAP this morning, where the fireworks and the Bulls are going to have a long-held tradition there, Ali.
Yes, we're going to see a lot of red, white, and blue like I'm wearing tonight because it's going to be a packed house. We're going to see tons of people here, and there's only standing room available tonight. Only standing room available, and fans may have their eyes on the diamond during the game, but after, it's going to be all eyes on the sky. Check out this video from last year. Red, white, and blue sparkling in the sky. This is what people are going to see tonight after the Bulls take on the Tides. First pitch is set for 6:35. Then the fireworks pop off at 9:15. Now, if you can't get a spot inside, Durham Parks and Rec says people can watch from this grassy area behind Diamond View 3. There are also several spots downtown as well. This is only the start of a packed patriotic weekend. Tomorrow night, there are limited spots available for the Bulls game. And then there are more spots available on Sunday. You can have a nice wrap up to your holiday weekend. Both games are followed with fireworks. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
The city of Raleigh is also hosting its July 4th fireworks show, but at a new place this year. That'll happen at Lenovo Center and Carter Finley Stadium in that area. Gates are expected to open at 6 p.m. and the fireworks show, that starts at 9:30. The event was previously held at Dix Park. You may recall last year there was initially a delay over weather, and then the fireworks vendor had a malfunction, and then the show ended early. The city of Sanford will hold its celebration tonight, and it'll be at the Kiwanis Family Park on Wicker Street. That starts at 5 this afternoon, and then it ends at 10 o'clock tonight. Fireworks start around 9:30, just so you know, and there will be live music, food, and games for families. Just a reminder, we have an entire list of more than 24 local fireworks displays and holiday events. Just go to WRAL.com and search the word fireworks. Let's get you a live look at the White House this morning as President Donald Trump is expected to sign his big, beautiful bill. The Trump administration says the president will sign that bill into law at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And that bill cleared its final hurdle yesterday afternoon with a vote in the House. All of North Carolina's representatives voted along party lines. And here's a reaction from the leaders of both parties.
I can tell you that this bill is going to be a great thing for everybody around the country, my constituents especially. What's good for Louisiana is good for America.
Not a single thing in Donald Trump's one big, ugly bill will meaningfully make life more affordable for everyday Americans.
The final vote happened 1 hour after Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries wrapped up his speech on the floor, and that lasted a record 8 hours and 44 minutes. Ukrainian leadership says at least 23 people were hurt in an overnight Russian drone onslaught, and the drone attack lasted 13 hours. You can see right here the damage. Drones hit buildings and residential areas in Kyiv, and Ukraine's Air Force says it intercepted most of the 539 drones Russia sent. And it also says Russia launched 11 cruise and ballistic missiles. The attack happened hours after President Donald Trump said that he made no progress toward a ceasefire with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Jeff Hogan to the WRAL Live Center. Have some brand new information coming in about a terrible explosion and almost 30 people injured right on the outskirts of Rome. It was a gas station. Here we have video of it in a neighborhood. And those who are injured include police officers and a firefighter. Injured in this huge explosion at a gas station. The blast at this distributor, they also have diesel and petroleum gas in there, was, as I said, in that neighborhood. It was heard across the capital city just after daybreak this morning. And 3 people went to the hospital with serious injuries. Even got word to Pope Leo this morning, and he said he is praying for the victims of this tragic incident there. We'll continue to follow this story from the WRAL Live Center.
So you hope everybody's going to be okay after that. Thank you, Jeff. A Raleigh woman was arrested in a hit and run, the same that sent, I should say, a 10-month-old and her mother to the hospital. And authorities say that Jeronica Rogers was involved in that crash back in May. According to search warrants, she admitted she was playing a casino app on her phone while driving through the Raleigh Walmart parking lot. Security footage appears to show Rogers speeding and then hitting the mother holding her child as they crossed the road. The car was then seen driving away. A man who was shot and killed at a Durham apartment complex has been identified. That shooting happened Wednesday evening at the Churchill Apartments on Cornwallis Road. Police say that 24-year-old Amani King was shot and he died from his injuries. Police have not made an arrest or shared a suspect description. A driver is facing charges because of a crash and carry that left hundreds of people without power. I want to show you video from that scene on West Chatham Street. Christopher Frederick is facing several driving while impaired and reckless driving charges, among other things. Cary police say that Frederick hit an electrical box near an apartment complex and reportedly dropped his phone while he was driving, tried to reach for it, and then lost control of the vehicle. Nearly 6 million people will be flying to their July 4th travel destinations this holiday period. We're getting you a live look at RDU, where it is going to be pretty busy there. As of this morning, there are 9 delays and no cancellations at the airport. But Sunday, that is the day expected to be the busiest at airports. Just a reminder that if you're flying today, definitely make sure you have your real ID. If you don't have one, you may have to go through additional screening. You can also use your passport or another form of acceptable ID. And just a heads up, you will see more law enforcement patrolling the roads across the state this holiday weekend. The North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program is conducting its Operation Firecracker Booze It and Lose It campaign. There are increased patrols and checkpoints across the state. And the Governor's Highway Safety Program, that is meant to educate people about the dangers of driving impaired. The increased patrols run through Sunday. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage fell to 6.67% for the 5th straight week. That's the lowest level since April. But Triangle home sales appear to be stagnant, with the average home sitting on the market for 45 days. Interest rates are not necessarily why buyers are slow to make an offer. For buyers, there are actually several factors to consider that have less to do with percentages and more to do with perspective. Real estate agents emphasize, though, that economic confidence, that plays a more crucial role in home buying decisions.
You don't feel confident in your job or your income, buying doesn't matter what the interest rate is. You're probably not going to do it.
And agents say that it is still a good time to think about buying or selling, but buyers are a bit more cautious now, and sellers need to be realistic about their home's value. 12,000 pounds of blueberries sent to North Carolina have been recalled because of a listeria risk. Alma Pack International produced these berries, and that recall is for 400 30-pound boxes shipped to one customer in North Carolina. But it's not clear how many stores received the berries. The dangerous side of fireworks. 5 people were hurt while preparing for their Independence Day show in Oklahoma, and 3 of the people were flown to hospitals in Oklahoma City and Tulsa in critical condition. 2 others were treated and released, and all the victims were employees of a private company contracted to produce the fireworks displays. The fireworks show was ultimately canceled, but the cause of that fire, well, that's still being investigated. Sean Diddy Combs' federal criminal trial may be over, but he's still facing civil lawsuits. At least 3, in fact, of those involve a woman who once called Raleigh home. Combs' former chief of staff attended NC State. This woman right here, Christina Coram, she's a co-defendant with Combs in these suits, and she is accused of enabling or helping Combs carry out sexual assaults, getting drugs for him, and even more. Next month, a hearing will be held for one of those cases. An artist named Lil Rod accuses Coram of being Combs' co-conspirator. And we spoke with his attorney.
I think that Christina Combs is going to have a rude awakening if she thinks that Sean Combs' acquittal of his RICO charge in any way, and his sex trafficking charges in any way gives her a cloak of protection in these civil suits.
Coram has never been criminally charged, and she has denied the accusations that are against her. Your time this morning is 8:41. A lull at Lake Lure. Lake Lure's usual summer sizzle, it's cooled down a bit.
It begins the swimming and the beach, and none of that's going to happen.
Hear why people there are still holding out hope for a busy summer season. And accidents and injuries. First responders are preparing to see more patients this holiday weekend. We're going to talk a little bit more about the dangers of fireworks. You know what? Extra treat for you. Let's look live at Carolina Beach. It is expected to be a nice day to celebrate Independence Day. However, there is a chance for showers. Elizabeth Gardner is timing them out to help you plan for your holiday.
8:45, taking a look at the DBAP, which is going to be very full later on this evening. Big baseball game and huge fireworks there. And even if you don't have a ticket to the game, there are places around Durham that you can see the fireworks. So that's a great place to be. What about the fireworks and that chance for rain? It looks minimal. And I feel like by the time we get to 9 o'clock, whatever showers have popped up will mostly be gone. Our temperatures heading out the door right now, mostly in the 70s, 73 Roxborough, 77 in Holly Springs, Fayetteville and Garner, as well as Cary and Rocky Mount. Temperatures will climb, and of course, as we heat things up, there'll be a few cells that pop up, but it's only a 20% chance, mostly in our southern counties. And then once the sun goes down, most of those will dissipate. 93 for the high this afternoon, and we're not looking at much of a heat index, so what you see is what you get.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. While fireworks are a highlight of the 4th of July, they can horrify our pets. Animal shelters take in more runaway dogs after July 4th than any other time of the year. Just some advice for the weekend for you. You can spend more time with your pets and try to tire them out and have some extra play with them, or even take an extended walk. They might sleep through the noise and bright lights. You can create a space inside away from the windows and keep the shades closed to reduce the flashing. And if your pet doesn't like loud noises, well, you can stay at home with them. First responders and doctors are warning people about how quickly fireworks can turn dangerous. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, fireworks accidents sent more than 14,000 people to the ER across the nation last year, and that is an increase that many hospitals are preparing for this weekend. Face and eye injuries are actually among the most common.
It's a wide range. They range anywhere from just some dark coloration of the skin from the gunpowder to somebody losing a thumb or a finger or a part of their hand because the firework actually went off in their hand.
As the night carries on and alcohol is introduced into the equation, the liquid courage kind of takes place, and that's when you start to see more and more of these injuries.
Emergency officials say they are expecting to see an even higher call volume on the 4th of July, and that is because it falls on a Friday. Amazon's Freevee is officially going offline this summer. The company announced that streaming service is shutting down in August. Freevee launched in 2019, and it offers users access to thousands of movies that are free, and TV shows too, including Prime Video content. That free library of content will now be moved to Amazon's Prime Video. The 4th of July is normally one of the busiest holidays for Lake Lure, but after that lake was drained to remove storm debris from Helene, the town isn't expecting nearly the same amount of visitors. Residents say they know the crowds won't be as large as usual, but they still expect to see people coming out to Chimney Rock State Park. It's now back open Friday through Monday each week.
Thankful we are where we are in this process. Come and spend time here.
Now, although the lake is inaccessible, the town has posted other 4th of July activities happening there on its website. A new movie profiles a children's TV legend, and Ozzy will take the stage with Black Sabbath once again. Here's David Daniel.
What's that? What's what? That thing? That's a camera. Wow.
She made sure you wanted to love those characters.
Children's TV pioneer Sherry Lewis is profiled in Sherry and Lamb Chop. The documentary looks at how the performer entertained and guided generations of children, and how she persevered after her iconic show was canceled. Sherry and Lamb Chop is in select theaters July 18th.
That's Cordelia Cup.
She is the best detective in the world.
Where's the body? Oh, I see feet.
The Residence is one and done. Netflix is not renewing the murder mystery series starring Uzo Aduba as a quirky private eye. Had it continued, it would have been an anthology series with a new case each season. Ozzy Osbourne is performing with Black Sabbath one more time. He'll take the stage with the band's other original members Saturday at the star-studded Back to the Beginning hard rock and heavy metal concert in Birmingham, England. Streaming info at backtothebeginning.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A stop on a summer road trip could land big bucks in your pocket. A Florida couple was on the road checking off their bucket list when they were at a stop at Arkansas, and it changed their lives. They dug a white 3.36 carat diamond out of the ground of Lovejoy Diamond Screens. Owner Gary Lovejoy says the average diamond found at that crater where they were is about the size of a match head.
Love seeing and feeling the excitement when they come back and look we found. I couldn't ask for anything better.
You know what? Good for you. The owner said they believe that diamond is worth at least $9,000 or $10,000. Okay, a little richer there. Looks like the newborns are getting ready for the 4th of July. Oh, look at these little faces we're going to show you here. There are the babies that are at the NICU at Cape Fear Valley Health. And they're chilling, relaxing, enjoying some floaties there. The hospital shared these babies are actually proof that strength comes in the smallest packages. There are a lot of different places that we are looking out live here today. The DBAP is one area where, you look outside there, they're going to be playing tonight, the Durham Bulls, and it'd be such a beautiful day to do so, as well as having some fireworks shows. We've been showing a little bit from downtown Cary Park, another area that we're watching to see how things are just kind of starting as people are getting out, enjoying their day. And it's a day for the 4th of July where people are truly going to need to be hydrated today, Elizabeth, because yes, it'll be fun to see all the fireworks, to eat the hot dogs, but it's going to be hot.
It is. We take a look here at what's happening in Garner. Look at all that sunshine. We are definitely going to heat up fast for today. Right now it is 78. Here's the thing that's going to make today so much more pleasant than it could be. Last week, now granted, it was really hot. We hit 2 days last week at 100, but we also had a really high dew point, so a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and it felt like 110, it felt like 113. With a dew point in the 60s, it doesn't change the way it feels. We just don't have as much moisture in the atmosphere. Yep, it's going to be hot. 93, but it'll feel like 93. So, hey, that's as good as it gets in July around here. Our temperature is 73 in Roxborough, but now 82 in Clinton, 78 in the Triangle. We're mostly in the mid to upper 70s right now. 76 in Fuquay-Varina, 77 Garner and Knightdale, 70 degrees right now in Chapel Hill. Here's Futurecast. We do almost every afternoon in the summer when we have this sort of pattern, have the chance of at least a few pop-up storms. This is not a big cold front coming through. This is just, we have some moisture in the atmosphere. We're going to heat things up, and then we're going to begin to see those popcorn cells. So a few of those, but not a lot. Notice there at 5 o'clock, this is our latest run of Futurecast coming in. Nothing really to see, and potentially a few. By the time we get to 9 o'clock, we're really over, and that's great because 9:30 is typically when we see the fireworks on 4th of July. So I think that we shouldn't have any trouble with fireworks today. 93 Raleigh, 92 Durham, 93 Fayetteville. At 7 o'clock, 85, and at 9 o'clock, 82 if you're headed out for festivities. Again, not feeling bad, especially if you can find a shady spot. Saturday also looks great, but Sunday we kept adding on that chance for rain. Watching that tropical low that could help to bring some rain here on Sunday and Monday. And notice what happens with the muggy meter too. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it goes way back up to tropical. It's going to feel a lot stickier. So taking a look at our heat index, it's not bad until we get to next week.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. We are looking, of course, to see what else is happening on this 4th of July holiday. But before we do that, we wanted to get you a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers.